Fine. Let's get started with the next one. Scalability testing. Basically, scalability testing verifies whether the software is scalable or not. What is meant by scalable? It checks if your application performs well when the number of users, amount of data, or the number of transactions increases significantly. Suppose you take a festival season, they will give more offers. So what will happen? Suddenly the spike will increase in buying the products. All this. That's a scalability. If you hit the maximum number of users or maximum number of transactions are increasing, whether your application supports that kind of scalability is there or not. There are many types of scalabilities are there. Network scalability and application scalability, server scalability. So these are all different scalabilities will be there. That means how much maximum load, maximum transactions and number of users it can sustain without any issues. That is called scalability testing. And scalability testing is done by the, again, non-functional testers, right? They will check. They will increase suddenly the users and they'll check. And the transactions they will increase and they will check. That's a scalability testing means. Then reliability testing. Reliability testing means it is one of the non-functional testing type, so which verifies if the software is reliable or not. So what is meant by reliable? It checks whether the software runs error-free and that one can rely on it. So your product or anything, how can we say reliable? If it is running long time without any bugs, right, without any issues, then you can say this product is more reliable, we can depend on that, we can buy that. So we can tell that that's a reliability testing. Even the error occurs also, so it quickly recovers and it continue running. Very rare case you have a bugs. That's a reliability of a product, how you can check. For example, if a user's important information stored in the database of the software gets suddenly deleted after a few months because of some error in the code, we can say that software is not reliable. Right? If suddenly deleted, and then it's a problem, right? It should not delete. It should not delete, right? That's a reliability testing. If it's deleting, that means it's not reliable. That's a reliability testing means. So your product should run long time without any errors. That's called reliability testing means. So monkey testing. There are so many kind of terminologies, but don't worry. So monkey testing means how monkey behaves. Just think in that point of view. Same way we are going to perform on the system, jumping here and there, doing randomly, we are going to do. That's the monkey testing means. So a type of testing that is performed randomly without any predefined set of test cases or test input. It is performed with the intent of breaking the system. Suppose some action is going on, you will perform some other action. It is not finished, that action is still under process, but you are trying to break and you are trying to do some other action. Sometimes system may crash, right? And that's the monkey testing, is jumping here and there, and that is not completely stable, but still processing also, you will jump to other action. That's a monkey testing. Randomly you will jump here and there and give in different random data and performing actions. Then you'll see how it performs, how the application behaves. So main intention is you want to break the system, break the application, find the bugs, to find the application quality, and you will use this monkey testing. What is gorilla testing? It involves testing an individual module or functionality of the application heavily in order to test its robustness. That's a guerrilla testing. Only particular module or particular functionality you will test heavily with the random data and to find the robustness of that module. Monkey testing is very random. You don't have any test cases, but randomly will give data and all negative and whatever it is, whatever comes in your mind, you'll keep doing here and there and jumping here and there and this page, that page. And if you do click on this link and try to click another link immediately, how it behaves, the application, that's a monkey test. But guerrilla testing is not like that. It's just one functionality or one module you will test very deeply and heavily in order to test its robustness. That's a guerrilla testing. And what is configuration testing? So it is used to evaluate the configuration requirements. Okay, so configuration testing means it is used to evaluate the configuration requirements of the software along with the effect of changing the required configurations. What you will do, you will change the configuration. Like suppose you have a 8 GB RAM, you can increase the RAM size, then you will check how it behaves. Or you reduce, then check the application behavior, how it works. That's a configurations you are going to modify and check the behavior. The hardwares or softwares you will install and uninstall and change the hardware configurations and then see how it works. That's the configuration testing means. Okay, so localization testing. Localization testing means it is one of the testing type which evaluate the application's customization or localized version of the application to a particular culture or local. Basically, suppose you are in India, we have so many languages, right? And your application supports particular local regional languages or not. That is called localization. Testing the application, whether the application supports the local languages or not. When you select a particular language, it should change the page content to that language. That is called localization testing. L10N testing also we call this. Okay, that's a localization testing. Are you clear? Localization testing means suppose you take a Google or a Facebook, whatever it is. So you go and change the content of the page. If you change the page content, there's so many languages here, right? If you change particular language content, it will change to that language. That all are changed to this selected language. This is a localization testing. The Google is following a localization testing. Again, you can switch to English, so it will change the entire content to English format. So this is called local. See the Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, so all different languages, Malayalam, Tamil, every language they are supporting. That's a localization testing means whether your application supports particular region local languages or not. That is called localization testing. Right, next, globalization or internationalization testing. I10N we call this, internationalization testing. So it is one of the type of testing in which the application is evaluated for its functioning across the world, independent of its geographical location or the cultural environment. So basically, the main definition you can tell whether your application supports international languages or not. Like international language means English, Germany, Japan, Spanish, French, Chinese Mandarin, so French, right? Portuguese, Different languages, international languages are supported by your application or not. So when you select the Spanish language, all the page content, entire application page content should show only in the Spanish. If you select a Dutch, all the content should be in Dutch only. Any page you go, it should be in Dutch only. That's the globalization or internationalization. So are you clear on the localization and internationalization, both difference?
Yes, sir.
Next, A by B testing. A by B testing means, to understand A by B testing means, it is one of the types of testing in which two variants of the software product are presented to the end users to find which variant performs better in terms of user experience or any business goal, and then functionality, then eventually keeping the better performing variant, and we are going to give that to end users. So they will take a two variant of your software or application product, and that they will give a demo to the end users or client, and to find out which variant is good, which variant is performing well in the context of, in terms of user experience, how usability your application is, how functional your application is, and performance is good or not. All these aspects will be tested in UAB. So next, all pair testing. All pair testing is, are you clear on A by B testing?
Yes, sir.
So A build and B build, two builds you will take, and you will present, you will demo to the client or end users, and which one is doing good, that you will give it to the customer, which one is more user friendly. So that's the A by B testing means. Next, all pair testing. So all pair testing is testing the application with all possible combination of the values of input parameters. Different parameter inputs you will give, and you can test. All pair testing. Just passing the possible combination of the values of input parameters. That's all pair testing is. Then failover testing. So failover testing means it is used to verify the application's ability to allocate more resources in case of failure, and transferring the processing part to a backup system. That's why if any failure occurs, right? So you can back up that data, so that is happening or not, if any failure occurs. So that's the failover testing means. So is it transferring the no process backup or not if failure occurs? That's a failover testing. So this application should allocate more resources in case of any failure are there, and transferring the reprocessing part to a backup system. So there will be a backup system always. They will keep that data in that. Next, fuzz testing. Fuzz testing means a type of software testing in which a large amount of random data is provided as input to the application in order to find security loopholes and other issues in the application. That is called fuzz testing. And then fault injection testing. So it is one of the testing, so in which the fault is intentionally introduced by the developer in the application in order to improve the test coverage. So intentionally developer will introduce, and you need to find out. So fault injection means they are injecting the faults automatically to find out whether you are able to test the issues or not, whether you are able to find the issues or not. They will check in the fault injection test. Wantedly inject the issues and find out that. Later they will to see the test coverage, how much you are testing, they want to check. Then they will try with this fault injection testing. And last one is a very, very important one, cloud testing. So cloud testing means, so as you know, the nowadays cloud testing becomes very popular nowadays. So cloud computing has computing has recently emerged as a technology quite different from what we are used to do in the normal applications. So it is computing based on the internet. That's a cloud testing means. So web and mobile cloud testing services provides a flexibility and easy to update, easy location independent, allows you to store data offsite and on-site. It's quite cost effective. That's a cloud testing advantage and cloud advantage. So there is a multitude of reasons for which cloud testing can be better than the traditional software testing applications. Some of the reasons is, so, and this is the one, cloud testing, why you need a cloud testing. Cloud testing is comparatively less costly than other testing choices. So, because you have environment ready and you're going to test it. That's why it is a less costly than other testing approaches. It is one testing alternative that assures you unlimited availability. So you have always your application availability will be there so that you can test any time. So as long as you have a working internet connection, you can access the resources from the cloud on any device at any place. That's another good point here. You don't need to set up only on your machine or your laptop. You can access the application from the cloud on any device at any place if you have just internet. So that's the advantage with this cloud. So it supports agile workflows. Assets available on the cloud are persistently updated, and the process also facilitates persistent integration. And the process of cloud testing is customization for different testing needs. Unlike other testing alternatives, cloud performance testing is quite flexible and offers you the freedom to explore. What are the different types of clouds are there? So you have different types of clouds are there is software as a service, should be a SaaS. SaaS is the one of the type of clouds. And then infrastructure as a service should be IaaS. And PaaS, platform as a service, should be a platform is provided for you as a service. So these are the three types of different services are available in the cloud. So in the cloud, what are the cloud providers? Cloud providers, we have so many cloud providers. So AWS, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, and Azure. These are the cloud providers. So cloud providers, this cloud environment they will provide. They will give the either software, you want to software only as a service. They have environment, they have a infrastructure. You can take software only as a service. And infrastructure as a service, you don't have anything. You want to have one infrastructure. Then they will give infrastructure, they will set up and they will monitor everything for you, for your application. That's the infrastructure as a service you can get from these cloud providers. Platform as a service, they will give a platform and you can use that platform for your application deployment and wherever you want to do all this. That's these are the three types of clouds, and the providers are AWS, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, GCP we call this, Google Cloud Platform, Oracle Cloud, OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and Azure, Microsoft Azure. These are the big companies so already in the market that with the cloud. Okay, so AWS is by Amazon, Google Cloud is from Google, and Oracle Cloud is from Oracle, and Azure is from Microsoft company. So these are all the cloud testing, all those different types of testing. Any queries? That's all about the different testing types. And if you have any queries, let me know. Compatibility, performance testing, load testing, stress testing, and localization, internationalization testing, and recovery testing. These are the very important things. Otherwise, not that. Security testing. So there is one more accessibility testing we already discussed, right? In the that is the functional testing types.
Yes.
So security testing, these usability testing, scalability, and volume testing. So these are important. What is stress testing? Stress testing means so giving the load beyond the expectation. So, for example, your application accepts 1 lakh users. You go beyond that 1 lakh, more than the 1 lakh, and you're stressing the system whether it is working on that load or not. That is called stress test. So, what is the stress testing? Testing the application with beyond the maximum load is called stress testing. What is load testing? Testing the application with maximum acceptable load. That is called load testing. So make a note if you don't have these definitions. Okay. Volume testing means gradually increasing the load. For example, first 10,000 users or 25,000 users, then 50,000 users, then 75, then 1 lakh users. So gradually you will test in different volumes and how the application behaves and what is the bottlenecks you will find out with volume testing. So that is the this volume testing means.
So scalability testing and load testing are both same, sir?
No. Scalability means so in a particular time, if it suddenly spike comes, whether it is sustaining or not, you will check. Load testing means maximum load customer will give. Okay, my application should support only this many users. That's a load testing. Maximum load you will give. That maximum load you are giving and testing. But scalability means network scalability is there, application scalability, server scalability is there. So many aspects you will do scalability, right? So network means inside the network you are sending a huge traffic you are creating. Whether your network sustain that or not, you have to check. So when once it hit the server, so is it sustaining and sending the request back easily? All those require the request. That's a scalability. Scalability means you are able to grow or not when it comes to maximum load or when it comes to, we don't know, right, what load it will come, a sudden spike. So if that sudden spike comes, is it accepting? Recently Signal, what happened? All jumped move from WhatsApp to Signal and it went down because they didn't expect that. That load they didn't expect. Sudden spike has come. That scalability, they didn't expect that much users will join that, and immediately they solved it and they rectified that. Signal app, right? So that scalability means the sudden spike in the something in the transactions as our users joining or users using that app, whatever it is it sustaining or not? That's a scalability. Load testing is a maximum load you will give. That load, how application behaves, you will take. Scalability means it can be any load, right? It can be any load, not the maximum load. So beyond the maximum load, it might be, or it might be more than that. We don't know. That's a scalable. Scalability is in every aspect. So here they have given only username and password, and so if already the username exists, you have to write, you have to get a error message, and so these things you have to consider. These requirements you have to read and write. It is just a registration. You have to think registration, what you will do, right? And let's go and create a theme. You are not, and one more point, you moved to developmental, Sri Lakshmi. Development you haven't completed. You are not a developer. So what you need to do, you need to keep in the review. Your test
Just
case you need to keep in the review, and you
yeah,
should not use it dev completed. You should not use that. Developers should use that, not by you. Okay, that is a one point. Correct it. And yeah, test cases I'll tell you. Test cases are okay. First, TC01. Just read the requirements, carefully read. So what you need to do, the use case start when a user indicates that he wants to register. So I am deciding to register to this website. The system requires a username and password. So for that you need to understand, okay, first one. So you need to verify whether register or sign up link is present or not, right? Sign up link. So verify the sign up link or register link in either login page or in menu somewhere in the menu also they will provide, or in menu, right? This the so this is the test case name, and test data nothing, right? So initially we are not giving any test precondition. So precondition is, so that's just application should be open, right? Application home page should be open. First step. So verify register or sign up link. So this is the expected result. So system should display register or sign up link. That's very simple words we need to use. We should not use so unnecessary confusing words, don't use. Just so REZ1 same. I'm validating. So validate sign up link. So no test data here also, and sign up link should be available. That's a precondition for us. We have verified there. Now first click on sign up link, and system should navigate to registration page. That's the first point. And TC03, and here the requirements is coming. He is requesting username and password. So I'll write, so REZ2 registration 2. See that this point I'm covering. The second point, This is the REZ2. That's what I have given REZ2. And verify the username. Verify entering the username or a new username, right? Verify enter the new username. So verify entering, so new username and password. Verify the registration process. You can say verify the registration. Verify the registration by entering, or by providing. Just put by providing new username and password. Verify the registration. Verify the sign up or whatever it is. Verify the sign up by providing new username and password. So new username. So you give the new username. That's our data is coming now. So I'll just give some name, okay? So you give whatever the date, new value. It should not be the already existing one, right? Password. So password you give the new, something new. So make sure it is obeying the rules, password rules. The password rules it should obey. Make sure that is following all the password rules. Right? So registration page should be displayed. So now type the new username in username field. Then second one, type the new password in password field. That's it. So the steps you are writing, then system should accept new username and password. Then TC04. So REZ2, right? So now here what we did, so we are able to check now, right? So user enters and REZ3 and all these things. So we are doing that. So this is done, and so now I need to check fourth one, right? Fourth one. So what is the fourth one? Verify registration. Verify the registration by providing already existing username. So that's the existing username you have to give. So that's it. You can try that also. Registration page should be displayed and type the existing username in username field. That's it. When you type, immediately it will So system will throw an error. System should display appropriate error message. This is what you need to write. And then, so that is done. After this is done, so then your system request all this name, street, all this. The remaining fields you enter. Now verify the registration. Now you continue, right? Now you continue. TC05. So REZ5, right? REZ5 is the 2, 3 and something, right? This is the, maybe you can give 3 and you can give here 4. REZ5. Now, so verify registration by providing all valid data. So that's a one thing. So it will be valid data. This is going to be complete valid data you are going to give. Username, whatever it is, that one. And also next, what fields are there? You can put a verification if you want all the fields verification. One you can write first name, right? So name, then you can give whatever the name you want, right? Then, so what is a street? Street. Then city. I'll just give this data random data. Right, so these are all the valid data I'm going to give. Phone, email, so what else? That's it, right? So all the data we have given, and so data we entered. So this is the test data preparation. So registration page should be displayed. You can say single word you can write, or you can enter so valid username, password. You can write different steps also. Otherwise, enter valid data in all the fields. You can write a one step. So user enters the information, the system determines the user's location after entering all the, so then you have to choose this location also, location and access levels. You have to choose location and access levels also. Enter valid data in all the fields, then immediately and select the proper location. Then next one, third one, select the access level. Then fourth one, click on submit button. That's it. So then user should be created successfully. System should create user successfully. So this is how you can write like this. So then you can think again, system executes use case, register preferences, that also you can take. The system starts a login session and displays a welcome message based on the user's preferences. So once you register, it will log in automatically, and you can say system logins automatically. System should log in and should display appropriate welcome message based on register preferences. That's it. And you can write all the negative test cases now. You can write a negative test cases. TC06. You can write a negative test. What are the negative test cases? Don't enter any data. First one, leave all. Verify the, sorry, this is REZ6 I'll put, okay. So you have here, right, the business rules. The user can now obtain data and perform functions according to his registered user level. Preconditions, nothing, okay. Fine. So I'll write verify the registration by leaving all the fields blank. All the fields empty or all the fields blank. So don't give anything. So registration page should be displayed. Leave all the fields blank. Just a simple one line is enough. Leave all the fields blank. That's one step. Second step is click on submit button. You might have a register cancel button also. You enter all the data, then cancel it. It should not create a user. That also another test case we need to write. So system should display appropriate error message. Then TC07. So REZ7, whatever it is. The user location and access level stores all the user information. So that's fine. So next, you can execute here register preferences. If the username duplicates, we have seen this step already covered. The fourth. If the user doesn't enter a required field, this we need to write now. So you enter all the data, leave the required field blank. Then what left? So that I'm going to cover now. So verify registration by leaving mandatory fields. Mandatory fields means what are the mandatory fields here? So name, zip code, username, but username will enter username, only name and zip code will put, okay, name and zip. So here, so name and zip code you are not entering, and by leaving the mandatory fields empty and providing other things valid, okay. So username and all other things you pass. So password you pass, then city pass. You pass. So Ramesh and the city and that Chennai and straight first name, whatever it is, right? Then phone So then email. Okay, so these are the data I entered. So registration page should be displayed. Enter the username, password, street, city, phone, and email. Second one, so leave name and zip code blank. And third one, to click on submit. System should display appropriate error message. Okay, so this is the how we need to write and verify the default access level. One of the test case you can write. See, this requirement I covered, this requirement I covered. So both we covered here, and also mandatory bills, positive and negative we covered. So each and every requirement we are covering here, right? And we made one first without duplicate we have written, with duplicate we have written, both we covered. And this means fourth we covering positive and negative both. And fifth also we covered positive and negative both. Wherever input fields are there, positive negative will come by default. Keep these points in mind, okay? And then, so location also, this we need to write one more, location based. So I'll select out of the zip code. Then what will happen? So that we need to see. So this is the you have to think in a different ways, right? So what will happen if you select a different location? What will happen? There are chances, right? People can select. Then if you haven't tested, and how do you know that area, that feature is working or not? Out of zip code location you chosen in the location area, and that's not correct, right? You have given zip code one area and selecting a different area, so other zip code thing you are giving, and that's completely wrong. The system should not accept that. That test case also we need to write. So 8, whatever, I'm just taking randomly, okay? So verify registration by selecting the location out of zip code. So you have to see that, right? Location should be out of zip code. So geography. So registration. So enter all the fields with valid data. Okay. And second one, select the location value out of zip code area. So select the location value out of zip code. Out of zip code is enough. So then, click on submit. And the system should not create the user, okay? System should not create the user. Should not create the user and should display appropriate error message. Okay, that also came. So this is 09. So R is a 9. I'll put access level related. So verify the default access level in registration page. So enter all the valid data in all fields. Select the location value based on zip code. The other combination you can try, so leave the name field blank and others give all valid. So that one condition. So that try it. First we tried both, you are not passing name and zip code. So one alternative, you have to do another 2 test cases. So leave first name field blank and try other one. And zip code wrong. See, invalid zip code you can give, right? Only alphabets instead of numbers. So this can different combinations you can put. Or zip code you leave it blank and try it out. Or you just give an invalid zip code. Generic term you write. That also you can try. Another 2 test cases will come. So now try verify default access level. Default access level is 0 or not. Then so submit. Submit the registration form. Maybe click on submit button, whatever it is, or submit the registration form, both are same. System should create the user successfully, and main part is this one. System should log in, and so here the main part is default access level should show 0. Should show 0. System should log in and should display appropriate welcome message based on the register preferences. So these are the things you can verify. And you can try other combinations I told you, right? So TC10. So you can try to select access level 1, 2, like that. So access level 0, you can only read only permissions. You cannot do any other actions. That also you can try it out. And so you can try this verify registration by leaving only name field blank, remaining valid, and selecting zip code wrong and valid. So I can just copy this. I'll do that. By leaving mandatory field name, only name. You can say zip code you can enter. So what are the zip code you want? Click on submit. So anyway, it should not create, right? System should display appropriate error message. Same thing you can do here also. The other one also I'm writing, we'll close here. So now zip code you give wrong or invalid. I'll just say invalid. Verify the registration by leaving mandatory field zip code empty. So leave zip code empty. Name. Just enter this. Enter the zip code. Leave the zip code blank. Name value. So location you cannot select because you won't get any option also here. If you try, so you'll get an error. So right, system should display appropriate error message. Okay, so this is the how we need to write. So we should not go beyond these requirements. So try to understand the system. Try to understand the requirements. Based on these requirements only we need to write. And then think positive and negative test case. How many positive and negative test cases you can write?